At first, everything about Orlando Brown's behavior made it seem like he was standing against the industry. The outbursts, the refusal to filter his words, the way he openly disrespected power structures that most celebrities tiptoe around, it all looked like rebellion. People watching from the outside believed they were witnessing a former child star finally snapping after years of being controlled. He didn't speak like someone protecting a career anymore. He spoke like someone who had nothing left to lose. That rawness made viewers feel like they were hearing truth instead of polish. The industry thrives on silence, and Orlando was anything but silent. Every interview felt unpredictable. Every sentence sounded like it could cross a line nobody else dared to approach. For a moment, the narrative was simple. Orlando Brown was exposing Hollywood. He was saying the quiet parts out loud. Fans framed him as another casualty of fame who finally chose honesty over survival. But buried inside his words were hints that something didn't quite add up. His stories weren't just accusations. They sounded personal, emotional, and fragmented in a way that suggested he wasn't just talking about what he saw. He was talking about what happened to him. And that realization would completely change how people interpreted everything he said next.
Then came the phrase that changed everything. "You gotta tell Diddy no." When Katt Williams said it, people laughed it off as another wild Katt Williams moment. But when Orlando Brown echoed the exact same warning with the same urgency and tone, it stopped feeling like a joke. The narrator draws attention to how eerily similar the wording was, almost as if both men were referencing the same unspoken rule. Katt sounded like someone issuing advice from experience, close enough to see danger, but far enough to avoid it. Orlando, however, sounded different. His words carried weight, hesitation, and familiarity. He didn't explain the rule, he emphasized it. The repetition made people uncomfortable because it suggested that refusing wasn't just about morals, but about survival. Online viewers began comparing the two interviews side by side, noticing that Katt spoke as a man who avoided something, while Orlando spoke like someone who didn't. This wasn't speculation anymore. It felt like a warning disguised as humor. The industry doesn't run on contracts alone, it runs on pressure. And that pressure, according to Orlando, didn't come with paperwork, it came with expectations. Suddenly, his earlier chaos looked less random and more like someone reliving moments he never fully escaped.
As people dug deeper, rumors surfaced that Orlando's story didn't start in adulthood. It started when he was still a child. His rise during the Disney era placed him in rooms far beyond what the public ever saw. The narrator explains that child stars are often surrounded by adults with power long before they understand what power even is. Fame moves fast, and boundaries blur even faster. According to online speculation, Orlando became visible to influential figures during the peak of his Disney success. The attention wasn't just professional, it was personal. People began suggesting that certain industry figures have a habit of identifying talent early, especially talent that's young, impressionable, and eager to please. That's where the story turns darker. Orlando's later breakdowns no longer seemed sudden or unexplained, they looked delayed. Trauma doesn't always explode immediately, it waits. The idea that his unraveling happened years later suddenly made sense. It wasn't a fall from grace, it was the collapse of something that had been cracking since the beginning. And if that was true, then Orlando wasn't acting out for attention. He was reacting to memories that never stopped following him. Jaguar Wright entered the conversation as someone who appeared to understand this dynamic all too well. She publicly defended Orlando, calling him intelligent and calculated, suggesting that his chaotic behavior was intentional. According to her, playing the role of the unstable former child star was a shield. The narrator explains how this theory resonated with viewers, who believe survival in Hollywood sometimes means becoming untouchable by appearing unbelievable. If people think you're unstable, they stop listening closely. Jaguar painted Orlando as someone who learned how to protect himself by exaggerating his own downfall. For a while, they appeared aligned. Their interviews overlapped in message, reinforcing the idea that the industry punishes anyone who talks too much. But then, everything shifted. Orlando turned on Jaguar, accusing her of dark practices and betrayal. The sudden switch confused audiences. Why would someone attack their loudest defender? That question split viewers into two camps: those who believed Orlando was exposing another layer of manipulation, and those who believed he had crossed into contradiction. The alliance collapsing so publicly made the entire situation harder to decode, and doubt began creeping into every claim. Things spiraled further when Orlando began naming names, not hinting, not implying, naming. The narrator emphasizes how dangerous that is in an industry built on discretion. Orlando claimed intimate encounters with multiple high-profile figures, some of whom immediately denied everything. To many viewers, this was the moment his credibility took the biggest hit. The internet turned ruthless. Memes replaced empathy. Laughter drowned out concern. But there was another interpretation beneath the mockery. Trauma doesn't always come out clean. When someone mixes truth with exaggeration, it doesn't always mean they're lying. It can mean they're overwhelmed. Orlando's delivery didn't sound strategic. It sounded impulsive, almost self-destructive. The more he said, the less people believed him. And that's exactly how credibility dies. Not with proof, but with excess. Whether his claims were accurate or not, the damage was done. His voice became easy to dismiss, and in a system where silence protects power, being dismissed can be just as effective as being silenced. Terrence Howard's story added another layer of complexity. He described an encounter that felt uncomfortable, confusing, and revealing without being explicit. His explanation of losing one's man card struck a nerve because it spoke in metaphor rather than accusation. Many believed him because his story was controlled, restrained, and emotionally consistent. When Orlando dismissed Terrence's account and claimed the opposite happened, the narratives collided. The narrator highlights how audiences now faced two versions of reality that couldn't coexist. One man said he walked away, the other said he didn't. The truth became less about facts and more about perception. Who sounded more believable, who had more to lose, and who benefited from rewriting the story. These contradictions didn't just confuse viewers, they exhausted them. And when audiences get tired, they stop questioning. That's when complex truths get buried under simple disbelief. Finally, Katt Williams re-entered the narrative. Not directly, but through whispers and alleged revelations. Word spread that Katt wasn't just commenting anymore, he was responding. According to rumors, Katt framed Orlando not as a whistleblower, but as someone who was exploited and then discarded. Money, promises, and desperation were allegedly involved. The narrator explains how this reframed Orlando's entire trajectory. His career decline wasn't accidental, it was leverage. And once the leverage was used, everything else collapsed. Whether Katt was revealing truth or retaliating is still unclear. None of it has been officially confirmed, but the pattern is impossible to ignore. The industry rewards silence and punishes exposure, especially when exposure comes without structure. Orlando Brown may never be fully believed, but that doesn't automatically make him wrong. Sometimes the loudest voices are the least trusted, not because they lie, but because they say too much. And that's the question left hanging. Is this chaos fabricated for attention, or is it the result of someone who never learned how to tell their story safely?
Don't forget to support the channel by liking the video and subscribing. See you soon!